In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how easy it is to make something to help keep germs off of your toddlers and your little kids' fingers when you're at the store. This is a shopping cart handle cover. It is made with 2 pieces of fabric and a long strip of hook and loop tape. The name brand is Velcro, and it has that sound that everyone will recognize as you pull it apart. So basically, you put the hook on one side, the loop on the other side, you fold it up, throw it into your purse, and when you get to the store, you just wrap it around that handle. Great for a baby shower gift, great things to sew and sell, and just a fun way to get fewer germs on your child's hands as you are out and about. I'm going to show you how to take 10-inch precuts and make these. So this one was made with 2. You can see there's a little piece on the sides and a bigger section in the center. This one I used some scraps, so it's 1, 2, 3 different fabrics, 2 on each end. You can also make them with solid fabric. So if you have yardage or something else, you could just do colors, you can do something fun. But because I do have this Thomas & Friends from Riley Blake Designs, we are going to make one with that. This is the part that will be touching the handle of the shopping cart. So nobody's going to see it. So it can be anything. It can be any old scrap that you have, and you're going to cut it anywhere between 5.5 and 6.5 inches high by 15 inches wide. And then you're going to make your outside the same. So whether you're using one fabric or scrappy fabric, you're going to get that to that same dimension. Now, I tested these sizes. I made this one out of 6.5 inch by 15 inch fabric, and I made this one out of 5.5 inch by 15 inch fabric. And then I took it to Walmart and I tested it on the cart. I prefer the 5.5 because it fits more snugly. But this one works just as well. And if I were to go to a store that had a slightly fatter handle, then I would want this one. So I would go somewhere in between. I would not go any smaller than 5.5 inches. I certainly wouldn't go any bigger than 6.5. So you can test and decide. Then you're going to also need a piece of hook and loop. This one's 13 inches long. And the reason I do it the entire length is because the cart is going to have sections where you can't get it completely wrapped. The handle isn't just open all this direction, so it's not like we know exactly where you need to put this. So putting it all the way along works great. So I've cut this to be the inside. So I'm going to put that aside. And now I'm just going to grab 2 pieces. I'm going to put the trains in the center, and then I'm going to put these cute tracks with the little location bubbles on either side. Now they are both directional, so I want to make sure I have them going in the same direction. And these are 10 by 10. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm turning it on its side because we're going to cut for this part, for that direction. And I'm going to cut this to be 5.5 inches by 10 inches. So this is going to be the center. And then for this, you can either just cut it in half, sew it on both sides, and then trim it to the 15 inches wide. Or if you want to be more deliberate about how much extra you have for another project, you can trim this to 2.75 or 3 inches. I like to do 3 inches just in case I'm a little bit off of my seams. But at the same time, if your handle cover isn't exactly 15 inches wide, nobody is going to know but you. You just want to make sure it basically covers where your child is going to grab, which is usually within that 15-inch span. I want to make sure I'm paying attention to the directionality. So these little location bubbles, the points should be down towards me, like towards the wheels of the train. So you don't want one going this way and one going this way. I mean, not that a child's going to notice, but it's a detail I would notice. You're going to put these right sides together on each side, and then I'm just going to do 2 quick clips, and then we are going to sew down both of these with a 1/4 inch seam, and then we are going to press that open. Now we have our 2 pieces of fabric, so we are going to place them right sides together, and then clip or pin. I'm a big clipper, especially for things that don't need to be super precise. I do a lot more pinning if I'm doing quilt blocks, but for a project like this, I find clips to be nice and fast, and they never poke me. Are you a clipper, a pinner? Have you tried clips before? Let me know in the comments if you have a preference. This is the easiest way to do this, in my opinion. We're going to sew down one long side, across a short side, and up another long side. So we're going to leave the entire short side open for turning. Instead of leaving a section open here where then you have to get it turned and pressed under properly, I find leaving an open end on projects like this to be the easiest and then just folding it under. If it ends up under slightly more than 1/4 inch, it is not going to ruin this project. And it's the quickest and fastest way to go. So that is what is going to happen next. So. Next, we're going to clip these two corners so that it's going to turn nicely. And you can cut straight across, but I like to cut kind of down at more of an angle on either side of where that stitching curves, because then you have even less fabric and you're going to get a better point when you turn that right side out. I have this all pressed and these seams pressed out. And so this is the edge that we left open. I'm simply going to fold that under about 1/4 inch, but if it's not precise, that's okay. You just want to get it even. I'm going to take that back to the iron, press that really quickly, and then I'm going to top stitch to close that edge. Now I have this sewn together, front to back. We've stitched that edge. Now it is time to get the hook and loop tape on. I like to put the loop tape on the top of the front, because you're naturally going to roll this around and have this attached to this. And this way, when you put it onto the cart, the trains or whatever design is going to be facing the child instead of facing you. Because it's really more important that they can see the print on the fabric than what you are seeing. And so that's how I've done this one. We'll get that out of the way. So again, you can clip or pin. I just clip this in place because as you can see, they're always folded up so they puff up a little bit. So I find putting about 3 clips on there helps keep that lined up. And now we're going to turn it over and we're going to put the loop on the opposite side. So on the back and also the opposite edge. So don't put it up here so they're on the same place. We need them to connect. And then I usually do this just to make sure I'm starting it at about the same place. Throw some clips on here. Okay, so now we're going to take this to the sewing machine. We're going to sew these two on and then we are going to be done. That's how easy it is. It's done. So you just flip it around your shopping cart and you attach the hooks to the loops. It's really simple to just fold, throw into the diaper bag, throw into your purse. Also, when you go to wash it, I would recommend you get the Velcro closed because you do not want all that Velcro sticking to your clothing in the washing machine. I'm going to be giving at least 2 to each person. Now, here's another example. It's a bit more scrappy of a design. So again, just a really cute idea. If you make these or anything else and post them on social media, be sure to tag me and also look in the description. I'll have a link for you to find lots of other ideas to sew for babies and little kids.